All right. Good evening, everybody. Just to do a mic check, could you pop in the chat if you can hear me? I know you won't be able to unmute yourself for now, but if you can hear me, just pop in the chat that you can. I see our guest already on as well. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, fantastic. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Emigrate Open Day. This is the fourth edition so far since we started running these open days. And today promises to be very insightful. Today promises to be very inspiring as well. Our guest is already here, who's going to be sharing quite a number of things from his perspective, from his experience, from his exposure. Is going to be telling us about some of the things that some of us on the call did not know or did not know that we did not know. But before we go deep dive right into it, I just want to run a couple of slides to give us a background into what it is that we do at Emigrate and to give us a background into what you can expect from today and generally from being a member of our Emigrate community. Emigrate for us is tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. But it goes beyond that, and you'll find out very shortly for some of us, what is Emigrate? What Emigrate does is to help you become globally attractive. There are two ways and two perspectives for that. The first is a tech-enabled profile, which is your individual profile, that's your name in the field of tech rings a bell, says something about you. The second is you running a tech-enabled business, typically a tech-enabled startup, right? And the key point, whichever route it is that you take, is for you to be globally attractive, to be highly sought after. The truth is that the world is looking for a certain type of people, a certain type of skill, a certain type of exposure. And the world has created opportunities and so on for you to be able to come to their country and for you to be able to use your intellectual property to develop their economy. The truth is that the visa itself is only a side effect of this objective. For us, Emigrate is much more than about you getting a visa to the UK, to Canada, to France, to US, and so on. Emigrate is focused on helping you be globally attractive. If you are globally attractive, getting a visa would be a stepping stone to other things as well. For us, Emigrate is focused on people in tech. But when I say tech, I'm speaking about technology, not about, not necessarily that you need to be in the technical side of technology. There are actually two sides to tech. There's the technical side, there's the business side. The truth is that any one of those parts of tech, both of them are really important. However, you must be passionate about technology because if you are not, you would be frustrated, right? We try to keep it down here to say you might be frustrated, but the truth is that if you are not passionate about tech, if you are not interested in tech, right, this may not be the best forum for you. It can be the business side. It can even be the investment side. That's a side of tech that is growing very much at this point in time as well. And there are investment visas available if you are on that side of tech. The key point is, regardless of which area you are, our objective is to help you to attain global mobility. And so Emigrate is built for you if you fit into that category. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Bade Adeshemowo. Amongst many other things, I'm the co-founder and CTO of Social Lender. I do many other things as well, but that's one of the main hats that I wear. We started Emigrate specifically because we saw a problem that we could solve. And that challenge was a challenge that we saw internally with the people that we work with our staff, and with people that work with us. The fact that people are unaware of these opportunities that exist all around them. And in some cases, some people do not realize that, oh, when I see an advertisement that says, oh, Tech Nation visa, oh, are you globally, are you exceptional talent? Many people do not realize that, oh, they may be speaking about me. However, in the future for Emigrate, we see that this would become its own startup to solve problems around global mobility for African founders, for techies, to help individuals become globally attractive. And generally, as at now, Emigrate is incubated by Bincom Dev Center. Why it works is very simple. For many countries, as I mentioned, they want you if you are able to add value. If you are not able to add value, if you're going to be a burden onto the economy, they don't want you. However, if they see that you can add value, you can create jobs, you can create intellectual property, you can make them more competitive, and so on, they want you. Nigeria was celebrating Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala the other day, but many of us forget that she's also American. And so, and several of that too, and I can give many examples. Our focus, however, is to help you become that globally attractive, because when you move from Nigeria, you will need to get a job, you will need to do other things, you will need to attract investment, and so on. And so don't focus on just, I want to japa. That's a word that I don't really like using, but that's a word that, I mean, many of us are familiar with. Some of us on this call, you probably like, oh, anywhere but air, right? But we are saying that focus on something bigger than just living. Focus on becoming globally attractive. Did you know that there's only one difference between the word immigrants and the word expatriates in the world today? If you are traveling from Nigeria out of Nigeria, if you are traveling out of Nigeria, you are an immigrant. If you are traveling from abroad to Nigeria, you are an expatriate, right? What's the difference? I mean, I don't want to say it's about you being white or being black. Truly not so much about that. It's about the fact that the world sees that, oh, people migrating are adding value. People coming from the other side may not be adding value. And so are you an and I saw this and I thought, oh, let me just add this here today. That is an expat, just an immigrant with the right passport. You can think about it. Tech-enabled visas. I'll just share a little bit about that, and then I'll hand over the floor to our guest for today. As I mentioned before, if you have zero interest in digital technology, this is not the pathway for you. And we focus specifically on technology-enabled visa. And as I mentioned, especially women, but many people as well, not seeing themselves as exceptional. And then in some cases, you need to realize that your business itself may be your visa. Your business itself may also be your ticket. I've traveled to many areas of the world today, and I didn't spend 1 naira, not just on ticket, on anything else. Why? Because my company was sponsoring me, but it wasn't even the company paying, it was others paying on behalf of the company. For some people today, this is a slide that you may want to take a screenshot of, because this sort of tables out some of the different tech-enabled visa routes that are available as of today, right? From the UK, startup visa, innovator visa, the global talent visa, which we will focus on today, the skilled worker route. For the US, in the last Emigrate Open Day, one of our guests spoke about the US and some of the routes available to technology people in the US. For Canada, we would have a guest in next month, April, who will be speaking about the Canada startup visa and so on. And there are several other routes as well. In Europe, there are several digital nomad visas, freelancer visas. There are several of them that you could qualify for, but you need to be strategic about it. Nobody can build your career for you. You have to build it yourself. I use UK as an example here to say that depending on where you are in the field of technology will determine the kind of visa that you can probably target, for example, right? And we believe, and one of the things we believe here at Bincom is the fact that even if you have 0 years of experience today, there are visas that you can target. Of course, you cannot decide that it's today that you want to now travel, right? You can start planning your career, the kind of things you've done, even the kind of jobs that you take, right? You may take a pay cut in some cases for you to be able to qualify for certain visas. But these are some visas that you can take a look at. Also, if you already been in tech for years, right? I know of people that have been in technology field for 10 years, for 15 years, but the truth is that they've not put themselves out there. Because, for example, one of these visas, the Global Talent Visa, they are not asking you to be exceptional in your place of work. They're asking you to be exceptional in the industry. And there are ways for you to be able to do that, but you have to pay attention to how your career is going and the way you are building your career. And as I mentioned, for Emigrate, there are two focus, either a tech-enabled profile or for tech-enabled business, meaning that you are like a founder or a senior executive in a technology company. Emigrate is also a business, and because Emigrate is a business, we do have some Emigrate services that I have to mention. Some of them are free, and I will invite you to take advantage of some of our free services, but some of the other services are paid as well. We have the Emigrate community, which is a free community where we share information when there are news and things like that. We share in that community. When we have open days like this one, we share in that community. It's an open community, so all sorts of people are in that community. However, we have a premium community, which is called the Emigrate Circle. That is more targeted. It focuses more on specific skills that will qualify and so on. You can ask more specific questions about your own career, your own profile, and so on. We have the monthly open day, which is free to members of both communities. So it's free for now, that is. In the future, it may be restricted to just Emigrate Circle, but for now, it's free for both Emigrate community and also the Emigrate Circle, which is the premium community. We also have personalized consultation where we are able to talk about your own specific situation and also give advice. I need to mention that nobody can promise you a visa, and we are not doing that, and we can never do that. What we can do is we can share with you information that you may not be aware of. We can share with you things from our experience, and all our consultants are already trained to be able to do that to the best of their ability. We also have the standard package where if you want to build out something over a period of time, say about 6 months, 1 year, depending on what it is and where you are today, would determine, what you need and then the type of package that you need. But what we recommend the most is the Emigrate Premium service, which is like a all-encompassing service, encompassing all the other things I've mentioned before, and it's a 1 to 2 year package. What that means is that it's over a period of time from beginner level or from when you're starting to being able to package your career, being able to advise and all of those for what it is that you need to get at this point in time. If you're interested in any of these services, you can fill the form on the URL on the screen. You can fill the form there. This is the schedule for some of the Emigrate sessions and open day sessions we'll be having in the future. I've gone a bit over my time. Our guest today is waiting already. His name is Babatunde Obatola, and he's a technology expert in the UK, and he's going to be sharing a lot about He's going to be sharing a lot from his own experience today. I should just mention that some of us on this call are experts in the field of technology. You've been in tech for 10 years and so on. One of the things that we have available is the Bincom mentoring platform, right? If you notice, one of the ways to show that you are globally attractive is mentoring people. However, mentoring people is not just doing something informal. That doesn't qualify for example, for technician. What qualifies is a formal mentoring platform, right? And Bincom is recently launching that, where you can mentor other people in a formal environment. And that will be part of what you've done, part of your profile, and that's part of putting yourself out there. For some of us that are just getting into the field of technology, or some of us that have a bit of skill, but you still don't have the right experience and the right exposure, Bincom has the Bincom Global Tech Program. It's a 1 to 2 year program, and it costs 1.2 million naira. However, part of the program, we do have a payment option, which is the income sharing agreement. What that agreement says is basically you don't have to pay Bincom now. You can pay Bincom when you get a high paying job in the field of technology. And that's what the Global Tech Program would do for you. It will help you to learn skills. gain the relevant experience, and gain the relevant exposure. I mentioned the Emigrate Premium service the other time. This is actually incorporated into the Bincom Global Tech program as well. So if you're interested in any of those services for Emigrate, you can do one of two things. You can register on the link that is on your screen, or you can send an email to emigrate@bincom.net. That being said, sorry, I took slightly longer than I wanted to, but now I'll yield the floor to our guest today. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for this. I will stop sharing my screen, and I'll yield the floor to Mr. Babatunde Obasola.
All right, thanks, buddy. Thanks so much for the opportunity. And good evening, everyone. I see it as an honor.
So sorry, just sorry for interrupting.
Okay.
If you have a question, please don't hesitate to drop it in the chat. We will prioritize questions we see in the chat before we allow space for other people to ask questions. And we also have some questions from the Emigrate community that we will take as well. So if you have questions, please drop it in the chat rather than waiting till much later. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
All right, thanks, buddy. Once again, thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. And I want to appreciate everyone that has joined. I see this as an honor. Not because I'm better than anyone, but just an honor to be here, and I'm here to just deliver what I've also learned over the years. And as Badi said, my name is Tunde Obashola. I live in the UK, and I work as a senior technical product manager with Samsung in the UK. I'm also 5G strategy lead for Samsung in the UK. Before Samsung, I worked with a couple of companies such as O2 Telefonica, which is a telecoms company in the UK. I work with Motorola in the UK also. I also work with Tech Mahindra in the UK. Then I work with Ericsson, that's in Ghana, in Africa, in Sierra Leone. I work with Airtel. Airtel is a mobile operator. You all know Airtel in Nigeria, in Congo, and also Nigeria. Then I also work with Etisalat, now 9Mobile in Nigeria. So I've not always been in the UK. I just said that so that you can know that my foundation is from Nigeria. I schooled in Nigeria also. Yeah, so let me just share my screen, then we can set the ball rolling. Good, can you see my screen? Okay, good.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, that's fine. So Badi has said a lot, so I want to go about the in terms of the. I won't go much into what's happening in the terms of technology globally. But one thing I want you to understand is that there's a race in the Western nations, not just the Western nations, the developed nations. There's like a competition of being ahead of technology. I'm sure you must have seen things happen, like example with the 5G. Recently, whereby everybody wants to launch 5G in the Western nations, and a lot of other technology coming in, like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. So everyone wants to be ahead, and that's because everyone has a need for technology to being a driving factor for the economy. You understand? If you want to see any nation that is doing well economically, when you check their GDP and other things, it must be a nation whereby technology is a priority in those nations. And we have so many of them: China, US, UK, and a lot of countries in the UK. I'm sorry, a lot of countries in Europe that are not really as loud as other countries. If you talk about Norway, Estonia, Finland, they are very good countries to live in. So technology play a major role. It play a very pivotal role in all of these countries. And one thing I want us to see, because I'll be focusing on UK for this, just for the purpose of this discussion. But I said it earlier, we have other countries such as Canada, US. I think someone spoke about US opportunities, visa opportunities last month, but I will just focus on UK for this discussion. Yeah, if you see this graph or these statistics here, this is a venture capital investment in tech companies by countries for 2020. We can see that United States is leading. It has the highest in terms of investments, in terms of investment into startups, technology startups. We have China. We also have United Kingdom is the third. That's globally. We have India, Germany, and a couple of other countries. So saying that globally, United Kingdom is third, which shows that there's a lot of emphasis on technology in the United Kingdom. There's a roadmap which United Kingdom has set for cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and making sure that technology affects every part of the economy. Now, talking about every part of the economy, we have the fintech, we have the health system, we have the edutech, we have the transport. A lot of things happening now, like 5G now, which is evolving now. There's all plans of how we can implement IoT, where we can do virtual reality. So many things just taking place. You guys are aware of these things. And for these things to be done, for these things to be achieved, these nations, United Kingdom, need people to achieve it, you understand? Because every nation thrives on the skills of the people to get things done. When you talk about creating technology solutions don't just come. It's because some people are thinking. They think of they see a problem and they think of solution to solve that problem. You understand? So one of the things that UK is doing is that it's trying to get talents, to get people that are skilled in technology so that they can help them to advance, to be at the frontier of technology innovations in the UK, so that those their plans for their economy, so that they can get the best ends to make sure that those things come to pass in the UK. That's why there's this Tech Nation visa that Barry talked about earlier. But before I go into that, let me just go to the next slide. Okay, there's a general myth which I want to address here. That myth is this: I don't know the technology that they use in the Western nations. I will need to learn new skills over there before I can get a job or build a startup. I see that as a myth. One thing you need to know, the fact is that technology, the principle of technology, the concept is the same everywhere globally. That's why when it comes to, because Nigeria has a very big economy where you have companies like Flutterwave, even Social Lender, like a couple of that companies are in Nigeria. You found out that the technology that you guys are using over there is the same that you are using here. So when you come to work in a company here, it's not that, oh, what they are doing is different, their technology is different. It's the same technology. So, because I've seen a lot of Nigerians where the fear is always there that they might not be able to compete when they come to nations like this. That is not true. There are two major skills in the world that can fit into any economy where you go. One is the health. If you're a medical doctor, you might need to do some more exams. If you're trained as a medical doctor or a nurse, then if you are trained as a digital technology expert, that's information technology, that's what they call it, digital technology, you can fit anywhere in the world. Because if you are really trained in that area, if you've been the type that's been developing yourself in that field of technology, anywhere you go globally, you'll be able to compete. So what you need to know is that for nations like Nigeria, Africa, a lot of nations in Africa, the problem is the awareness and how they apply it. We have a lot of startups springing up, but the government policies is not really targeted towards the use of technology effectively. I don't want to go into that, but you know the way things work. But in some of these Western nations, such as UK, there's an advantage because the government policies and roadmaps, it's enabling the development of technology innovations. So that's what makes them better than some of these other countries. So if we go to China, South Korea, a lot of these countries, they are prioritizing technology. They are creating policies, they are creating policies, they are creating laws that is enabling technology to be used for the purpose of the society. So that's why where you are now at the moment, see yourself as a global, as someone that can compete globally. Of course, I'm going to talk about things you might need to do in terms of skills, but if you've started already in technology, then you're on the right path. Like Bade said, some of you are experienced already. Maybe you have 7, 10 years, even 20 years experience. Some are in the middle, whereby you are just maybe at the mid-level of your career, and some are just starting. But wherever you are, see yourself as someone that can compete globally. That's what I want to say. So just have that in your mindset that you can compete globally. Then number 2, you can now start developing yourself to see, okay, what else do I need to compete globally? That's the second thing. Second thing, you have to start thinking, what else do I need to be able to compete globally? Now, let's go to the UK Tech Visa, requirements. Good. Like what are written here? Becoming globally attractive by using technology to solve community and society problems. One thing I want you to understand is that these countries, they are looking for talent to come in. They are not looking for economic immigrants. I want you to understand that very well, because that's what the problem, that is one of the mistakes that a lot of people from Nigeria, they make, or Africa generally. Because of that desperacy in us, you just, okay, I just want to get anywhere, just because you want to come and you want to come and consume what is going on in the economy, you want to come and benefit from the economy. There's a good side, but see yourself as someone coming to contribute. If you want to go far in this land, in these nations, if you want to be exceptional, to remain exceptional, if you want to be someone that become a force to reckon with in these nations, make sure you are coming to be someone that's coming to add value to the nation, not that just want to be economic immigrants. Because I've seen a lot of Nigerians do that. They come here, make money, send money back to Nigeria, relate to Nigerians, get a good house. At the end of the day, when they are 60, they go back to Nigeria. There's nothing wrong with that, you understand? You can still invest in Nigeria. But purpose of traveling, one of the purposes of relocation is that it's an education whereby you become part of the culture of where you are, and you're also adding value to the ecosystem of that place where you find yourself. So I want us to debunk the mindset of being an economic immigrant. You are not an economic immigrant. Don't see yourself that way. I don't see myself in the UK as an economic immigrant because I'm adding value to the UK technology ecosystem. Not just the technology ecosystem, I'm involved in the school, in the board of governors for secondary schools. I'm involved in creating value among the children where I teach them coding, you understand? So I do that as part of my pro bono activities, that's volunteering activities. Good. So for the UK Tech Nation, there are two major leaders they're looking for. One is an exceptional leader, as you can see on my screen. Exceptional leader is someone that has a credible track record in digital technology. That means you've probably been working for, let's say, from about 7 years upwards, either as an employee or as an entrepreneur. Maybe you started your own company or a startup. You could be someone that maybe an expert in technology, and there are so many skills. There's cybersecurity, software developer, network engineer, many skills, social solutions architects. So that's the technical part of it. Also, you could be someone in a senior management role in an organization. Maybe you are like their CIO, COO, but you are involved in a place whereby you are involved in a strategy whereby you are leading the creation of technology products in that organization. So I've mentioned 3 things now. First one is being a technical expert. That could be an engineer or a software developer, cybersecurity. I'm still going to talk more about that. That's the first one. The second one is being an entrepreneur, whereby you have your own company and you are creating technology solutions, your own company. That's the second one. The third one is being part of senior management of an organization. In that case, you are not necessarily the one that created that company, but you've been involved in creating outstanding products and solutions, technology products and solutions in that organization. So those are the 3 levels. So anyone can occupy those positions. Anyone can be part of it, but not everyone can be exceptional. You understand? Not everyone can be exceptional. So I'm still going to talk more about that. So that's for the exceptional leader. The other type is the promising exceptional leader. That means that the person that is promising is on a journey to become a global expert or to become a technology expert so that it can fall into the position of an exceptional leader. So that's the second category. And this is for those that don't have much experience. Maybe they left school maybe 3 to 5 years ago, but they are doing their best creating solutions and products which can make them to compete globally. So that's the second stage. And a lot of us on this call, on this meeting now, we are at these different levels. I'm sure all of us can find ourselves at any of these levels. So if you're an exceptional leader, what's there for you? To be able to compete, let me give my an example. Let me give myself as an example, because I also I got established in the UK through the exceptional talent visa. That's over 5 years ago. Based on my experience, what's helped me is because I made use of the opportunities that I had when I was growing my career. I worked with a couple of companies like Ericsson. I worked with Etisalat. You understand? And one of those things that helped me is that being the best at whatever I do, identifying problems in projects and creating solutions that affect the end users positively. So when I talk about creating solutions, let's make it practical. Let's say you're working for a company there's a new product that's coming in and you're part of that project. It's obvious to everyone that your suggestions, your ideas in those projects, it's helped to make it successful in such a way that even the users, they can testify to it. The users could be your customers, or they could even be users within the organization. So they can testify to it that it's affecting them positively. That's one. It's generating revenue for the organization. Let me give an example of I'm just going to try and create an example. Okay, let me give an example of a project I worked on in Airtel Ghana. At that time, Airtel was creating, they were launching Airtel. Then it used to be Zain. That was 2008. So they were launching it was a greenfield network. Greenfield means that they were about to launch it. They were building the network afresh. You all know this networks, Glo, MTN. So I was brought in as an expert to work on the to design and deploy the IP backbone. That's Internet Protocol backbone. Yeah, all this BGP, some of them into networking. So what I did then, I created a platform that was able to carry different traffic for value-added services, mobile data, billing, and many other things, B2B services. So I created that platform, not just creating the platform that can carry those traffic, I also created, developed solutions for the security. So this has to do with cybersecurity and to avoid fraud and a couple of other things. So I did that single-handedly, though I had a couple of people that worked with me. So that is a solution that I created. What is the end result of this solution? I was able to solve problems for people to be able to carry traffic on my network. That's one. Cybersecurity problems too, in such a way that fraud was prevented through what I created. So that is an example of solving a problem. And a lot of us are in that category now. You might be doing it in a company, or you have your own startup, like what Social Lender is doing, what Flutterwave is doing. A couple of startups in Nigeria, Paystack, all these guys, what those guys have done, you understand? So the fact is that what is the problem and what solution or product are you developing to solve that problem? So that's exactly what they need for. So if you can tell them, okay, this is what I've done. This is the problem that was available. This is the solution I created and the product I created to solve that problem. And this is the end result. The customer is happy. The users are happy. Then it's generating revenue. Good. Then that shows that you're an exceptional person in that particular situation. So for the promising exceptional leader, it's someone that is on that path, as I said earlier, to become an exceptional leader. So that person too, whoever is in that category, maybe a graduate from school or maybe someone that has masters, about 3 to 5 years experience, but he's done great things that are very, very exceptional. Now, I've put some of the soft skills here. Just give me a second. Soft skills, attributes of technology leaders. I said quest and passion for technology. I think Badi mentioned that earlier. I said using technology to solve problems in your organizations and communities. That's why when you work, don't think about your company alone. Think of how you're solving problems in your communities. That's why I gave that example of myself. One of the things I do is that I get involved in schools. I mentor teenagers, and let me just tell you what I do. I mentor them to identify problems in their communities, and they should think of technology solutions that can solve those problems. So I don't just tell them to think of problems. Okay, how do we solve it using technology solutions? So how do I do that? I teach them how to build mobile apps. I teach them how to build websites. So look inside your community. It could be your streets. It could be your local government. What problems are they having? How can we solve it? I'm not being paid for that. So those are some of the things that add to your value that shows that you are very exceptional. So you're not just developing technology because of what you want to hit or what you can benefit from it. Also, you have a passion for your community. So it's those kind of people they are looking for. So that's why I want to advise you, if you are not doing that, look for something that you can add value to. It could be your school, your alma mater, where you finish from, your secondary school, your universities. See how you can add value to them using technology. It could be a club, it could be some private secondary schools or public secondary schools in your local communities. Think of how you can solve problems there using technology, or think of how you can impact those kids there using technology. You understand? Now, another one is, okay, I talk about continuous development and skills acquisitions. You understand? We all know the way technology is moving, whereby things are changing quickly. All this cloud, SDN, AWS, Azure, all these things, the way things are changing quickly, DevOps, all these skills, you know the way things are moving. So be on top of your game. Be on top of your game, keep on developing yourself, be at the cutting edge of technology evolution, technology developments. Good. Then the last one I will talk about is maximizing relationship with those you have worked with. That's why don't burn bridges anywhere you've worked or where you are working, because when you're applying for the technician visa, they will ask for recommendations. So no matter how good you are technical wise, if you don't have good people that can vouch for you or speak well about you, then that doesn't show that you're an exceptional person. Good. We'll still go to question and answers in 1 or 2 minutes. So the last thing I'm going to talk about, these are some of the skills that are needed in the UK. These are just examples, but like I think somebody asked that question earlier on the chat. This is very easy to get. You can get it from Technician websites. I've just put it down here. So these are some of the skills that are needed to be able to get to know much about the visa, to know much about the endorsements. Okay, let me tell you, the application is in 2 stages. The first one is getting endorsed. Getting endorsed means that they will review your application to see your skills, the recommendation letters you have, your personal statement of what you've done over the years, and how you can prove to them that you're an exceptional leader. So that's the endorsement stage. That's the toughest one, and it takes about 3 weeks for outside the UK. Once you've done that and it gets approved, the next thing is the visa application. The visa application is the easiest part of it because the major thing is endorsement. Once those that are endorsing, the neutral body that does endorsements, once they're happy with you and they say that, okay, this guy is an exceptional leader, we want him in the UK, that's fine. The next thing you have to go for the visa application, and that takes about, I think, 2 to 3 weeks for that. Good. So I think we'll take some questions now. Before maybe after the question, there's something I want to show you. I want to show you some statistics of how the countries have been applying, people that have been getting these endorsements from the different nations. I will tell you the position of Nigeria. I will show you how a lot of Nigerians are not getting it, which is really appalling, you understand? We are one of the highest applicants for this visa. You know, Nigeria, we're always ahead of these things. But the problem is that desperation is affecting a lot of people, you understand? I've met a lot of people before whereby some people get it. And I've seen some people that they want to do, I'll just tell them, don't apply now. Go and prepare yourself, go and do this, but they don't listen. They go out and apply and they get denied. You understand? Some even go to get people to write for them, they still get denied. You understand? So I will show you those statistics later. Let's take some questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, I've learned quite a number of things, even with that short presentation, and I'm sure the people on this call as well have. So we have quite a number of questions, some of them that were sent before the session, but let's start with the one from Ole Ali. He says he's an Android developer. He has also worked in tech over the last 4 years. He doesn't yet have a BSc, but he's working on his BSc online, and he's currently in Nigeria. What pathways would you advise, or I mean, what are some of the things you should be looking out for in terms of pathways in his case?
Yeah, for him, if he's an Android developer, first thing is question I will ask is that has he solved problems? Has he created solutions that if he can look back in the last 4 years, yes, these are the things I've done. The results I'm seeing, those things I explained earlier, my customers or my users, they are happy with it. It solved these particular problems, and it's probably also generated some revenue. If you can see that, okay, I've created these solutions, yes. Then number 2, I'm also developing myself to get better, to become an exceptional leader. He said he's doing BSc, which is fine. He says he's doing BSc, or maybe has some other training is done, certifications. I think it's fine, you can apply, but that would be promising. So you just make sure that those criteria are being fulfilled.
Thank you so much, sir. For your convenience, I will also paste some of the questions as I read them on the chat. So this came from the Emigrate community, I think WhatsApp, and it says, IT professional, is it possible to find recruiting agents directly find employment in the UK while still in Nigeria? Basically, is it possible for him to work remotely? And he didn't state what his specific skills are, but could you speak a bit to that?
First of all, these things, let's just be practical. Yes, you can start applying for jobs from Nigeria. That's after you've gotten I assume that in this case, it's probably gotten his visa. That's what I will talk about. But if you just want to be in Nigeria and apply for jobs, first thing they will ask is that do you have the right to work in the UK? And a lot of times companies don't want to sponsor, you understand. There was this visa route tier 2 that was available where they sponsor, but it's very competitive. And few companies sponsor. Then also you have a lot of people here that are also skilled. You have a lot of people from the Asian community, even blacks, you understand, and the white community that's also very skilled. So the first question is that, do you have the right to work in the UK? That's the first thing an agent would ask you. And assuming there's a job role of 20 applicants, 15 of them have right to work in the UK, they have visas in the UK, the other person is in Nigeria, and they will need the company to sponsor him. They will pick the people that have right to work in the UK, you understand, because that saves the company a lot more money. So assuming you have a right to work in the UK, let's say you have the technician visa, you can start applying for jobs, you understand, from Nigeria. That's the first thing, start applying for jobs. I've seen some of my friends that I mentioned that got to them, they, before they came in, they started applying for jobs, started doing some of their phone interviews from Nigeria, but it will come to a stage whereby they need to see physically. So at those times, everybody moved to the UK to start doing physical interviews, you understand? And that takes some weeks, you understand? But the fact is that everyone gets a job at the end of the day, and a lot of them are well settled in now in the UK. So you can start applying from Nigeria if you have the visa.
What if he doesn't yet have the visa? He says that his skills are GCP and Azure. I mean, obviously, he's still building his skills in that. Is there any opportunity for him, or is it something where he needs to just keep developing up until?
I think you need to keep developing. Have a plan to apply for the technician visa. Set a plan for yourself. Go to the technician website. Maybe set a target of 6 months to a year for yourself. See what you can do between that period. Then see what you've done in the past that will add value to your application. That's what I would advise you for now. That's it, to get a visa. But if you don't have a visa, it's very tough. I have to be real with you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I was going to also ask someone that's been in, I mean, you spoke about a few things that people should be doing. Someone that's been working in IT department in a bank, for example, sort of does a lot of things routine and hasn't had an opportunity to show themselves exceptional. What would you advise them to do? Would it be to resign and find a different place, or what else can they do?
No, a lot of people fall into that category too. Even working in a bank, make sure you are doing something valuable. You understand, when you're working in a bank. Don't just be like someone that's doing operational support, where you're not really creating new things, and that can be very autonomous and a routine activity. Maybe you're monitoring a network. If a server goes down in a particular branch, you go and fix it. Those things are it's just a level, you understand? We've all gone through that before, but make sure you're aspiring. Like in a bank now, there are a couple of people that are involved in the design of the network. These are the guys that are actually creating the solutions. See if you can get move internally to those departments if it's possible. Then these banks too, it also depends on your on the department where you are. Some are in the network, some are in the software where they create all these mobile apps, some are in the unified collaboration. Like one of my friends was in EcoBank. It was part of their contact center creating solutions, and you also got the exceptional talent visa. So just make sure that where you are not just that someone that's just part of the team. Mm-hmm. You must aspire, you must push yourself, you understand? Assuming things are not working right for you, think of how you can collaborate with some of your friends and start a company. You understand? The opportunities are there. Start a company in Nigeria. Look for a problem you can solve. It might not yield anything at the beginning, but you're solving problems. You can even develop something. It could be a software platform for a school. Just that the school will do it for you now, though we are spending money, but you need that to be part of your story, success stories of something you've done.
Thank you so much for that. I think you've answered this one already before, but I just wanted to make sure we touch on it a little bit more. Again, I combined the two questions together. Somebody was asking about core skills that are in demand for Canada and UK, and so on. And you've already spoken a lot to that. Somebody else was asking about sponsorship, which you've also spoken a bit about in terms of sponsorship and companies willing to sponsor people for relocation from Nigeria. Yes, the truth is, I mean, for the sponsorship, there have been people sponsored, right? And people have gotten jobs where they are sponsored. The key point you need to just realize is it's really rare. And you mentioned that already. I don't know if you want to add to those.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise everybody to go through sponsorship, except you're ready to be very patient. It might come quickly. It might, and the government has really they've made it very flexible now. You know, there was a time whereby it was only tier 2. Even at the time where it was tier 2, there was exceptional talent visa, but they made it the bar so high that not everybody could want to go into it. You understand? Mm-hmm. But now with the new global talent thing, that's okay. Global talent, which is exceptional talent, there's tier 2 visa still on. That's the highly skilled visa. That means that you need to get a company that wants to sponsor you. Yeah. So you can give it a try. If you want to get, there are times you can, maybe you should talk to Bade, or there are a couple of websites where they can put, okay, they can sponsor visa, but it's highly competitive. That is one option. Other option is if you want to come through school to a master's, but that is investment on its own. Be ready to spend like almost £15,000 for that. Then when you're doing master's, you're just allowed to work for about 20 hours. After that, you start looking for a job again. You understand? And master's doesn't mean you're going to get a job. That's the fact. That's why I tell people, if you want to come for master's, be strategic. Don't say you want to come and do master's in business management and look for a job in the UK. No. You find people doing master's in management. After master's, they got to go and start developing skills which they will need to work. You understand? So so people should have the right perspective to it. I've never used my certificate to work in the UK. I've been here for over 6-7 years now. People should know that if you get a job, nobody will ask you for your degree. They don't do that here, you understand? I have my MBA from the UK. No one has ever asked me. I just said I have a first degree, I have MBA, but the HR will never ask for your certificates. So the major thing that matters is your skills.
Oh, fantastic. And I think you already answered the person asking about if I take masters. And if I will be able to work in the UK if I do a master's. Yeah, he has already answered that to say yes. However, bear in mind some of the risks involved, and also if there are easier paths, why don't you focus on those easier paths rather than you so that's up to you. So let's look at Shola Akimbode. He says he's a UI UX already working for a startup. He doesn't have any certification. Is this a limitation for the UK visa? What would be your advice?
Yeah, Shola, if you are working for a startup, and UI UX is a very good one, and if you are really adding value, you can look back and see you have a credible track record of the things you've done. I can say you're a very good candidate, but to help yourself, because one of the criteria is you can talk to Badi later where you can maybe help you in terms of how to go about it. To see the criteria, one of the requirements is that you must prove that you've been developing yourself in the last 1 year. Some people don't use that. There are different options. So I would need you to check those requirements to see if you're able to fit. But from what you are doing, it looks as if you're okay. But I can't see you're okay. Just make sure you meet those requirements. So you might need a training or certification to prove that you are developing yourself.
Okay. And in addition to that, Shola, you also need to do things outside your typical work environment. You need to do things in the industry. If you look at the technician requirement, you will see things like your GitHub profile. Have you contributed to open source? There are several things that you can do. Have you been recognized in your field? Have you spoken in tech conferences, no matter how small, and so on? These are additional things that you should probably be doing in addition to your daily routine and your daily work, and just keep adding value. Take a look at those requirements. I say to people that, they've already given you the exam paper, right? Set yourself a target depending on if you are new in tech. We sort of think that, if over a 2-year period you can qualify as an exception, as exceptional promise, right? But there are several things that you must do within those 2 years for you to qualify. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of sleepless nights and so on, but it's the same things you need to show yourself as globally attractive. So why not do it, right? However, if you've already been in tech, if you've already been doing some things, some of those things can count for you. Will reduces that timeline. It may reduce that timeline to just 6 months. And in some cases, it may reduce that timeline to say, oh, you can even apply immediately because you already have the things that will make you qualify. All the information is in public domain. Many Nigerians don't like reading. Many Africans don't like reading. But the honest truth is, a lot of the information you need is in public domain. Okay, what are core skills in high demand? We've handled that already. Already have a UK visa and just started training in web development. So, okay, well, same Shola, what is your advice for someone that already have a UK visa and just started training in web development? Shola, you need to specify what visa you have. Is it a visiting visa or do you have a work permit in the UK? That may be helpful. We'll jump to another question while we wait for Shola to answer that. I have one here that it's pretty long, but the person gave background: software security engineer, interested in drone programming, software engineering, and cybersecurity, and so on. Asked what professional courses on those parts of interest can someone do to get a job easily in those aforementioned countries. I don't know if should I take all the questions and then you answer them together?
Yeah, okay.
Which of those parts of interest can a job be gotten easily? For someone who is interested in military abroad, which of this career path would you advise me to start with? And then with a PhD in computer science, can I easily get jobs abroad, or do I have to combine few professional certifications to easily get one? What are my
first of all, that questions that software security engineer, drone programming, I want to ask, how many things are you doing, man? So it needs to be very specific on what you need to do, what you want to achieve. And there's also the place of passion. Don't just do it because that's what is in the rave now, you understand? Because you need just to know what, in terms of passion, know what you want to do. You can, if you are the type that is, you said you're doing drone programming, then start on that path, see how you can develop yourselves, trainings you need to do. There are a lot of trainings online, all these edutech platforms, Coursera, and also there are a lot of other platforms where you are not just doing training, you are building skills. Yeah, like what Bade mentioned earlier. It's not about doing training, it's not about developing yourself, but you're in an environment whereby you are building skills and also creating solutions and solving problems. You understand? So that's the major thing. Get good training for that. That is targeted towards what you want to achieve and where you can become an expert. Then get an environment where you can be doing either a job or environment whereby they are teaching you hands-on skills, which is adding value. So that's what I can say. So it's which of those parts of interest can a job be gotten easily or that's in demand? Wow, this is an Nigerian one. I understand what you mean. That's why I said just follow your passion. They are all good roles. I said it earlier, anything digital technology is good here. As I said earlier, health and technology, there are two parts where you cannot miss it. A lot of people come in here, they come as maybe a particular role, maybe a lawyer, they switch to IT. You can see someone that's been working as a biotechnology person. After a year, she's become a software tester. That's the advantage of IT. You don't need to go to school to go and learn those things. You understand? So all the skills are okay. So just follow your passion. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I'll just add to that, please focus on one. Pick one of those ones and become an expert in it. Yes, definitely know a little about everything else, right? But focus on one pathway. You're trying to do too many things at the same time. And what that tells me is you are spreading yourself too thin. And that is going to be a problem for you. Maybe not at the beginning, but definitely much later as well as you grow. So please bear that in mind, in addition to what we've said already.
Then, sorry, tell something about postgraduates in computer science. For me, I'm not saying nobody should not get postgraduates. If you are saying postgraduates, you can add it as one of the, if it's recent, the ways you've developed yourself, which is can be a criteria to make you an exceptional person. But beyond, like what Badi said, develop yourself, get skills, and focus on your passion. Just one thing that you want to achieve and become an expert in. Yeah.
Okay. So we have someone else who's led a team to create application for managing estate residents, carry out head counts, also cybersecurity practitioner for 10 years. What are my chances?
In terms of your chances,
we don't
I
know.
think that has to be specific to know what you've been doing.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying. What have you been doing? Can you say that you've, I made the example earlier that your customers, what problem have you solved? That's the first thing. The solutions you've created, the problem is solved, your users, your customers, that you can list it down. And how did you solve it? What ideas did you create? What were the new solutions you created? Yeah, it's good if you've led a team, which could be that if you've played a very pivotal role in that particular team. So if those things are there, that's okay, I've solved this problem, I've created these solutions, and I have a lot of experience in this, we can add value globally. That's one. And I said this earlier, but they also mentioned it. What value are you adding to your community? You understand? What are you doing outside your job? Which is a very good one. I said earlier, get a school, maybe the school you finished from. Like I finished from Lautech many years ago. And I can remember when I left school, I still went there a couple of times to speak. That was the National Computer, whatever, the NACOS, they call them. So when I wanted to apply then, I showed them the picture of the time I was speaking. So that also adds value to your chances.
Thank you for that. I should mention on this call that, I mean, we are not giving visa advice. We are not visa consultants. What we are doing on this call is sharing from our experience and sharing from, I mean, some of the information that are privy and available to us. So I should mention that upfront. So I see a similar question to something we've already answered. So I think we'll just skip that for the DevOps engineer. We already answered that earlier in the call. You can get the link to the recording of this call so that you can watch that to take a look at that. Does it count pro bono contribution to the community, which is not exactly tech?
No, I wouldn't. Of course, it's good to add value to the community. But if you're going to add value, make sure it's tech. That's what I would say. And don't just do it because of the visa. Of course, it helps, but have a passion to add value. Don't be, I understand Nigeria that a lot of times we're concerned about, okay, what we eat, what we drink. I understand those things are very good. But one of those things that also help you, your well-being, is that you're adding value. You understand? And those things have good rewards too. You're adding value, you are creating solutions in your community. You understand? I give examples. Look for a primary school near you. Go and meet them that, okay, I can help and be teaching them maybe some computer coding using Scratch or something. Do you have an IT department? Some of those things count. It might look small, but it's adding value. Yeah.
Fantastic. A question about part of what Technician is asking for is for you to have 3 experts to write on your behalf, and the experts have to write on the accompanying letterhead and so on. Is that easy to get? Someone that is just, I mean, how was that experience for you and, I mean, some of the people that you've mentored? And then what would you advise from that perspective?
It doesn't have to be on the company letterhead. Let's say you work with...
Yeah, new requirements is actually on company letterhead.
Company letterhead. Yeah, but there's always a way around it. Let me give an example now. You work with someone, maybe you used to work, let's say, in EcoBank, your former manager, and the guy has moved to another bank. And you're asking for a recommendation to recommend it based on the job you did in EcoBank. Ideally, you shouldn't use this complex letterhead of UBA to write it for you. You understand? One thing you need to understand is that this guy making decisions, they understand these things too. So he can put it there, then he also put details that, okay, of what is done. That's why part of the requirement, those recommendations letter is that he should show his own track record too, how he managed you, his LinkedIn profile, or other things about him, which they can use to, could be his official, what's it called, email address you can be there. At least they can reach him through that, which confirms that he's working in that company where he says he is now. That's what I would advise, you understand? Because at times, not everybody would like to use their company letterhead.
Yeah.
I'm just being real, you understand? Yeah. But if you don't, these guys understand, just make sure that whoever is writing it gives details about himself, not just LinkedIn. He use his official email address, his phone number, so that they can check him, even socially, they can see him.
Mm-hmm. So I think my question was even, how do they get people to write for them? What can I do today for me to get someone to write for me in 2 years' time? That's what I was even...
Okay. What can you do today to get someone to
write for me in 2 years' time?
Okay, I think we've said it all. Continue adding value and don't burn your bridges. That's what I'm saying. That means that people that you are working with, because some of the requirements is that a technology leader has to write for you. It could be in a company where you've worked, or another company, maybe it could be, let me give an example for someone now. Maybe you don't work with Microsoft directly, but your company is a contractor, a reseller for Microsoft. While working, you get to interface with Microsoft's people. If you are doing your job very well with relationship, you might need their help later, whereby somebody Microsoft will write for you. So what I would just say is that maximize the relationship that you have in your journey to become an expert.
Fantastic. And we're just coming up to the hour now. I see a question specifically for Emigrate. The Emigrate standard, which is, I believe, is the plan you're talking about, does not cover publication. In fact, none of the Emigrate packages cover any kind of publication. However, we can help and advice in how you can get yourself in the papers, you can get yourself in tech blogs and so on. There are relationships that we have that we can expose to you. And you can also explore relationships that you do have. One of the things we say to people is that except you already qualified today, don't just rush it to say, oh, now I know about Tech Nation visa, let me just go and apply. Plan for it. Look at the answer sheets, look at what they are going to mark. And then from today, start planning to say, okay, fine, what do I already have? And this is part of what we do with the Emigrate standard. You will do some work, but we'll take a look for you and be able to say, oh, fine, these are the things that you need to do. Emigrate standard comes with actually 3 sessions. So the first session will be the introductory one. Usually sessions are 1 hour where we are able to help you say, oh, fine, this is what you have today. These are the things that you ought to do. Second session, a couple of months, depending on, or a couple of days later, depending on what it is that you already have, would be, okay, now that you have put these things together, do they tick all the boxes that it needs to tick and all of that? Third session would now be packaging these things for your application. Some people get rejected, not because they don't qualify, just because they don't package themselves in a way that makes sense to an assessor. Right? And even if you choose not to use Emigrate, our service, make sure you get someone to take a look at this application from you. Don't let it be your wife. Don't let it be your brother. Don't let it be someone that can tell you the truth, to say, this thing you gave me does not make sense, right? That's what we would advise. But the Emigrate services are also available for you. Caleb came late and says we should recap. Sorry, Caleb, we are not able to do that because we are even out of time. However, the recording of this call, you can get the link of the recording of this call right now. After now, the recording is only available to Emigrate Premium. That's Emigrate Circle. After now, and that's a paid service, but you're on the call at the moment. The recording I've just posted in the chat, so you can save the recording and you can rewatch the recording. We're already past our time.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry to cut you short. Sorry. Is it possible I just share my screen for just 2 minutes?
Oh, go ahead.
That's statistics for Nigerians.
Right.
Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. Sorry, everyone. I don't want to take your time. Just to show you statistics of the application from the different countries for Tech Nation. You can also see the graph. So the highest applicants now, they're from India, is very high, 897. You can see it, but those people that got it actually, that were endorsed, 350.
Oh, wow.
You understand? Now, United States, 400, that's the second highest. Those people that got it, 303. So I want you to understand the mindsets of these nations too, because when it comes to immigrants I don't use the word immigrant, but it's, a lot of us relocate. Expatriates. It's always Africans and people some of us from the Asian community, you understand? And that's why we need to be careful. You don't just apply because of desperation. Look at Nigeria. Nigeria is the third highest, 270 applicants. Look at how many people got to 81. That's just about 30%. You understand? Why didn't they get it? Some of them could be for genuine reasons. Some of them could be that they are not yet ready. Some of them could be that just do it for the sake of doing. So people could get their documents from their friends that got it and they just write it down. You know these things. You understand? So that's why I want you to understand that if you want to do it, just do it well based on what we've talked about so far. You understand? So this just shows again the applicants. Nigeria has the lowest endorsement rate so far. We have a lot of applicants compared to other nations, but our endorsement rate is very low. Even South Africa is higher than us, you understand? And South Africa seems like a better place to live. So let's leave that for. So this also shows most of the those that are applying, that are getting endorsed, some of their skills. So all these things are in the public domain. Technician website, you can get it. So I don't waste our time on this. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I think that also segues into one of the things I was going to mention, which is that the good news, however, even if you get rejected when you apply, is the fact that they will give you feedback. Don't forget that this application is you summarizing what you have done in your career for the last X number of years, whether it's 10 years, whether it's 15 years. Think of it as if you are doing a thesis, right? They will give you feedback to say, oh, you didn't qualify because X, Y, Z. In fact, if you do an endorsement review to say, oh, I think I qualify, but you people said I didn't qualify, they will give you additional feedback, which is part of what you have already paid for in your application fee in the first place. The point I'm trying to make here is the fact that and it's not like, oh, if I apply once, I can't apply again. So the key point here is why not? Why not? I mean, why not plan for it? Why not know when you know that this thing exists, when you know that this thing is something that you would need in the future or that you need now? Why don't you plan for it immediately? So we're coming to the end of the session. I don't know if you have like final words, sir, before I give mine as well.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you, Bade. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Bincom community. And thanks for everyone that has joined. As I said at the beginning, I see this as an honor, not because I'm better than anyone. And we all have a journey, you understand, our different experiences, you understand. But what I want you to know is that this is possible for everybody on this call. It's possible for you to get this. If you want to go to the UK on Technician, you can get it. It's possible. Just follow everything that's been said. You achieve it. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. And just so that my people don't say that I didn't do this, okay, before I do the marketing bits, I will just mention that these are the dates for our next couple of open days. Wednesday 31st, we would be focusing on, we would have a guest who would also be focusing on the US and some of the pathways available for the US. April 21st, we'll be having somebody focusing on the UK from a slightly different perspective and maybe a different visa in the UK. Actually, that would, yes, in the UK. And then Wednesday, May 5, we would have a guest that is focusing on some of the Canada tech-enabled routes, specifically the startup visa routes for Canada as well. So just bear that in mind. And in terms of from an emigrate perspective, we do a lot of things for free because we do a lot of things for free. However, our time is also very valuable. And so there are paid services that you should be aware of. You will find all of that on the Emigrate website. Someone was asking about the Emigrate standard, and I've answered the question you were asking about public relation and if the package covers the public relation. No, it doesn't, but we do have relationship in that regard. For some people, what you just need is a 1-hour session with one of the Emigrate consultants where they can literally drill down into your own profile and then help you map out all the different things that you need to start doing or the documents that you need to produce in terms of you applying for like the technician visa that we focused on today. And then we have the Emigrate Premium service, which is like an hand-holding service for a period of 1 to 2 years, 2 years really, because one of our belief system is that if you do some specific things consistently for the next 2 years, you automatically qualify, not just for the visa, but for bigger things as well. And that's part of what it is that we do with the Emigrate Premium. And the Emigrate Premium comes with the Bincom Global Tech Program as an add-on to the Bincom Global Tech Program. And what that is if you get to learn skills, you gain experience, and then you gain exposure. So if you've not even started in tech at all, you can fit into the program. If you have already been in tech and what you need is hands-on experience, the right exposure, the right opportunities, and so on, that you would also fit into. And for those of us that are highly experienced in tech, and part of what we are looking for at the moment is in the way where you want to be able to start showing yourself, showing your ability, putting yourself out there, making yourself showing yourself as globally attractive. The Beacon mentoring platform is available to you, and some of our other Emigrate services are also available to you. That being said, thank you very much, everyone that joined us on this call today. And to our guest, Mr. Babatunde Obasola, we really, really appreciate you. We appreciate your time. And thank you for sharing even from the wealth of your experience and knowledge as well. Thank you so, so much. For everybody else, we hope this has been a very useful session. If you would like to get the video for this, please take it from the chat now. As I mentioned, after this, the video would only be available to our premium community members. And so thank you, everyone, and have a lovely rest of the day. If you are interested in any of the Emigrate services, as I mentioned, do an email. It may be best for you to do that email immediately so that one of our team members can follow up with you. Emigrate@beacon.net, or you can simply just go onto the website for you to indicate what service you're interested in, and somebody will follow up with you as well. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope this has been very useful for us, and have a lovely rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Cheers.